Have you ever imagined yourself getting stuck in the wild with no one else to ask for help but yourself? That's certainly difficult. It takes a lot of survival skills to endure it, and of course, live to see another day. Well, life in the wilderness looks like a piece of cake when you see how Bear Grylls devises methods to get through each day. This British adventurer is always up for extremes, so if you are also one, keep watching this episode all the way through. Hello guys, welcome back to Top Feed. Today, we got you a list of the top 10 man versus wild moments. If you still haven't subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button now and let's check out all the entries one by one. Number 10, Bear versus Yak. Starting us off at number 10 is the Bear versus Yak. Taking yourself into the wilderness sometimes brings unforeseen circumstances that will challenge your survival skills no matter how acquainted you are with outdoor adventures. Similarly, Bear Grylls took this wilderness challenge by saving himself at the expense of this poor yak, which he just stumbled upon in the forest. Bear Grylls went raw when he was faced with a long-haired yak and got his first bite, though he killed the yak in the most humane way he could afford at the time. Now, you might probably be wondering who the real animal here is. Kidding aside, Grylls had no choice but to suck out the blood from the yak. Would you dare drink the raw blood to satisfy your thirst as well? If not, then you might not be able to take the next thing that happened when he took the liver and the eye of the yak for his next meal. Number 9, Bear Gone Bear. If the previous entry gave you goosebumps, you'll get your skin hairs literally standing when you see Bear Gone Bear at number 9. Covering yourself up with layers of clothing would still probably feel cold when you're in the Arctic, so wandering around this place naked is a big no-no. However, some people still dare to take this challenge and go around naked. If by any chance you get to see someone naked in the Arctic, that's probably Bear Grylls taking another challenge on another level. Yes, because the 4th season of Man vs. Wild started with Grylls doing some chilling stunts in the freezing barrens of the Arctic. As you can see, he traverses the Arctic River all bare, as if he's not feeling any cold at all. Wow, that must have felt so freezing. Not just that though, because Bear Grylls even chose to go into the freezing water chest deep with few camera cuts. Grylls really proved he has thick skin and nothing to hide. Well, this survival skill is certainly not any normal type that you can find from anyone out there. Number 8, Escaping a Train. Up next at number 8 is Escaping a Train. When Bear realized that the challenges of the wild no longer entertain him, he added it with a little twist. A train! Yep, you guessed it all right. Grylls did a speed challenge with a train. In that episode, it started mild and sluggish as Grylls glided through the Rocky Mountains where he made a rough landing in the water. After reaching that isolated place, he made his way back to the nearby town while doing some free running down the mountain, ziplining and eating a few critters here and there. Right now, I'd say that Grylls certainly has a weird appetite. That episode went intense when he entered a train tunnel without checking the schedule for the next stop. While getting halfway of the tunnel, Grylls was confronted with an oncoming train. There was no escape, so he had to run fast and return to his previous tracks. It was all inside, with the only light coming from the train until Grylls saw the end of the tunnel emitting a growing light. That was definitely insane! Number 7, Insect Patty. Coming in at number 7 is the Insect Patty. Getting stuck in the wild brings scarcity of food, and getting enough protein is difficult. However, Grylls devised a pretty bizarre way of obtaining one. As we all know, or better yet some of us know, that bugs are full of protein. Most likely, it's not the first choice for many of us, but when confronted with difficult situations in the wild, being picky won't let you stay for long. Hence, Grylls cooked his favorite patty out of beetles, praying mantis, and moths from the Sahara Desert. For one, it's certainly gross, but if taking aside your fancy appetite would mean surviving out in the wild, then you'd better think twice. Number 6, eating a raw snake. At number 6 is eating a raw snake. While it is true that snakes in all of Africa are dangerous, you might also consider the danger of a starving man. As the famous statement goes, survival of the fittest, meaning an entity needs to commit predation and competition to survive. If snakes have their venomous fangs, men, like Grylls, have the wits to outdo the competition with a snake. And so he did. Yep, because after killing a snake, Grylls decided to eat it raw. The danger posed by the venom on its fangs is imminent, as it remains active for hours or even days. But Grylls ate it on the spot anyway. Well, talking about a starving man it is. Number 5. A nice drink of urine. Coming right up at number 5 is a nice drink of urine. You can't survive in the wilderness without water aside from food. This was Grylls' problem and settled for his urine as a source of his drinking water. Grylls claimed that the ancestors have done amazing things with urine to hydrate their bodies and for therapeutic purposes. Contrary to this, some medical experts of Europe and Asia said that the consumption of urine has no benefits at all. It's already a body waste, so taking it in all over again would rather bring danger to the person. Despite this, Grylls had no other competition but to drink it so that he could satisfy his thirst. He reasoned out that drinking it would extend his survival period instead of dying early from dehydration. Number 4. Drinkable camel juice. At number 4 is the drinkable camel juice. Of all places where water is scarce, the desert is a place that you should avoid. So if you find yourself stuck in the middle of the desert, searching for a source of water is your first task. This task doesn't come easy though, so Grylls decided to collect water out of a dead camel's stomach. In that particular episode, Grylls even performed an autopsy on its stomach, and there he found the last food eaten by the camel. Without thinking twice, Grylls squeezed the stomach of the camel and directed the dripping liquid to his mouth. He even said that it's drinkable, but gross. Well, for me, gross is just an understatement. Would you also agree? Number 3. Historic enema in Panama. At number 3 is the historic enema in Panama. Would you take the challenge of extracting water from the bird droppings and drink its rancid liquid? I take your answer as a no. However, Bear Grylls is just living Justin Bieber's never say never, because he is willing to try anything just to prove that anything can be an option to survive, even if it means performing an enema. As many of you don't know, the human rectum is more than just an outhole because it also prevents the poison from entering the digestive system. Basing on this information, Grylls performed the enema to his own body so he can bypass his gag reflex and insert the contaminated water without poisoning himself. Well, Grylls certainly took this challenge to a whole new level of extreme. At least he was able to rehydrate himself, right? Number 2. Bear Grylls Strikes Back. Coming second best in our list is Bear Grylls Strikes Back. If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the desert and have nowhere else to go, Bear Grylls will give you an idea of what to do. In this episode, Grylls marked up 2 important tasks that he needed to accomplish before it turns dark. First is to find food for his famished stomach, and second is to find shelter to heat up his body at night. During his journey, he stumbled upon a camel carcass. Upon seeing it, Grylls quickly got another weird thought on how he will make use of the carcass. Firstly, he dehydrated himself from the intestines of the camel, and he removed all the insides of the camel, leaving only its thick skin. Before nightfall, he covered himself up with the skin and used it as a protection both from the coldness and vicious predators at night. Pretty smart, huh? But this thing definitely stinks. Number 1. Organic dung juice. Taking the number 1 spot is organic dung juice. With all the potential poison that filled up Grylls' stomach from the raw food he had eaten over the past few days, he needed to wash it all. To do so, Grylls needed to find a fine source of water. Well, the least fine water that Grylls can afford is the fluid from the fresh elephant dung. Yep, he extracted a liquid from the nearest possible source, and the ones closest to him at that time are the fresh and easy to access elephant droppings / water supplies. Regardless of its taste, it helped him keep himself alive anyway. You're probably all in disgust right now, but surviving out in the wild requires a smart and vicious mind that is willing to do the impossible, or rather, eat the unimaginable. And that's all for the top 10 man versus wild moments. Got something to share? Share it with us in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, please click the like and share button. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss amazing content from Top Feed. See you!